Hello and welcome back to my channel. Don't mind if I'm looking down. I'm just looking down at my iPad. So welcome back to my channel. It's officially been 1 year since I graduated college. Technically not until the 31st, but you know, I'm also just like in a season of reflection. Like it's December, we're reflecting on a new year. My birthday's next month. So overall, here are 12 things I learned post-grad. My first year post-grad, because we're still in my first year post-grad. I consider myself to be fully 1 year post-grad since the 16th, because that was the date that I took my last final and I moved the heck out. So first, I learned your degree alone will not land you a job. You need skills as well. I feel like this one's self-explanatory, but I feel like when I went to college, I was like, oh, this degree is gonna, like, I'm gonna go to college I went to college for 4.5 years, including a year at community college, and then 3.5 at a 4-year. And I think I went into it thinking, oh, this is gonna get me a job, a 9 to 5, and I don't think I was thinking I'm gonna get handed a 9 to 5. Like, I knew I had to work for it, but I was just thinking that's what's going to happen when I graduate. I'm going to get a 9 to 5 and everything's going to be good and life's going to be great and I'm going to pay off my loans and I'm going to make X amount of money when I graduate. Also, that didn't help because my brother, when he graduated, he got a significant higher salary than I would have gotten with my first job post-grad. And so that really set me up for failure, thinking that I was going to be able to get higher, but he went into a more demanding field than I did. So yeah, don't compare yourself to people going into an entirely different industry that has more liquid assets to give everyone, if you get what I'm saying. Number 2, this was shoved down my throat when I was in school, but you know, they can shove it down your throat, but it still won't get you to learn the lesson. But your network is important. Use it, utilize it, and tap into it. This is how most people are getting their jobs. So yeah, needless to say, I need to tap into my network more. I'm sure one of my professors is literally watching this right now being like, girl, you're not doing that. Yeah, I'm not. But you know, I'm building more networks. That includes like LinkedIn, your personal connections, your coworkers at your current role, or current job, wherever you are. Even if you're at a minimum wage job like me, like you can connect with people, you can connect with clients, and they can get you your next gig. You never know what's gonna happen. You just have to be open to all opportunities. 3, this one I've learned a lot this year, and I kind of learned this in college too. You're constantly overstimulated, especially in the world of social media where like you can just constantly be scrolling. But sometimes your brain just needs silence. It needs a break from constant stimulation. Basically, what I do is I use my time driving to and from work to not stimulate my brain at all, besides like actually driving, because if I did, I would actually get into a car crash, and that has actually proved to be true multiple times. And I have a rule where I can't call anyone. My mom set up that lovely rule because she gave me a car, so I have to follow that rule, and I do for the most part. Occasionally I'll like voice text her or call her. One time I called her in the middle of traffic because I was bored and I wanted to let her know I was in traffic. But you know, you need to have silence. So even in traffic, even though it's annoying, it's very annoying. And then 4, things do not just happen. It takes many small actionable steps, but you will get there. This is more focused on debt for me. I feel like sometimes I get frustrated because I'm paying the minimum. And also for anyone saying, oh, well, if you're paying the minimum, you should pay more than the minimum. I know, I'm working on it, people. But this is more so focused towards my private loans because that's the bigger amount. I basically have it broken into 3 larger chunks of loans: private, federal, and then private is 2 different because I have 2 different co-signers. And so like just looking at those amounts going down every month can be great, but also it's like slow and steady progress, but that's how you're going to get to your goals. Same with investing. It's like you're not going to get $1 million portfolio overnight. No one's going to, like, not everyone can just build a company and sell it for $1 million. So unrealistic. So just remember that. All right, number 5. The first time you do something will be the hardest. The more you do it, the faster, the easier it will become, and the quicker you become at it. And it's just like, it's for everything. It could be for like a specific homework assignment, like your first essay in a class with a specific professor, or like a first class that you're taking with a specific professor. It could take you like an hour to 2 hours to do an assignment because you don't know what they expect. But once you know what they expect, you're able to get it done faster and faster. The same is true in real life. Like any work task, you're gonna, like for example, I work on a register. That was hard at first. When I first learned how to use a register, I was slow. And then the more I did it, the faster I became, spread through multiple different tasks that you have to do on a daily basis. And you can become pretty automated once you figure out how to do it once. You can become quicker at it and get it done faster. 6, this one was a tough pill to swallow. My friend literally had to tell me this. When a college or school gives the percentage of graduates that find a job within the first year, that includes minimum wage jobs and other jobs. It does not include just include the 9 to 5, the typical 9 to 5 job. Personally, I thought it just did that. Even after I did get my part-time retail minimum wage job, I didn't know that until my friend literally said that, and I still said I know to him, even though I did not know that before. So thank you to my friend for telling me that. So just so you know, everyone, that's the statistic. So for example, I think last time I checked, it was like 82% of graduates find a job within the first year. Now, out of that 82%, really how many percent, how much of a percent? Well, first of all, the surveys that is only like so many students are answering for you. So it's like not entirely accurate, because if you don't fill out the survey, you're not going to be accounted for. So if they have 100 students out of like 300 that graduated, that's where that number is coming from, that small amount of students who actually responded to the survey. And out of that small majority of people or minority of people, or however many people, if it was half the class who did it, how many actually have a 9 to 5 job? Especially in this job market, probably pretty slim, unless they have connections, work hard, have internships, all these things. But yeah, it can kind of be discouraging when you look at that, like when you figure that out. I was a little discouraged at first. All right, 7. Just as one may need to go to community college before, like I said, I went to community college in between being homeschooled and doing the whole high school thing, and then going to my 4-year school that I went to. Every person is different, so you can just go a different route. Like I'm going a different route, and obviously I feel like a lot of the reason that I'm going a different route is because the traditional 9 to 5 right now is really tough to get. And I would probably, if I really, really wanted a 9 to 5 right now, I could make it work, but that probably would cost an hour in the car, 2 hours on a train, just going closer to one of the major cities that I live near. And honestly, that risk is not something I'm willing to do at the moment. Will I potentially want to do that risk? Who knows? We'll see. But I mean, I found an executive assistant role that was $100,000, and it was very tempting. And obviously, like, some of these have stipulations, like you need to have this many years of experience, but you can get higher salaries near these cities, and so it can be very, very tempting to take those jobs. But it's also at what cost to yourself are you willing to take that risk? And do you want to be on the highway for that many hours? Do you want to be in traffic for that many hours? To me, right now, that's not something I'm willing to do when there are closer opportunities that I just need to find. And then this one, I didn't really learn this. Like, my dad was telling me about this like months ago. And I kind of like felt this transition for my brother. It depends on what type of 9 to 5. Like, if you're getting an in office 9 to 5 and you were just like doing school, you're like not used to being in person that often, then it is a tough transition. Not only like the hours that you're working, but just like the environment you are in. It's just very different than being in an academic setting for those hours or an extended period of time. Sometimes people are not used to being up that early and getting to work on time, and getting to a class on time. Some people would have 8 a.m.s and still wouldn't go to 8 a.m.s. You get what I'm saying. 9. Most jobs, even 9 to 5s, do not have those set hours. I applied to one that was a 9 to 6 p.m. My dad works in science. It's not that at all. I've been, obviously, like, my dad has spent in his career my entire life, and I've never ever seen him have a very consistent schedule. Some days he's on a meeting at home at 9 a.m. Some days he's still on the couch at 9 a.m. Some days he's at the lab at 9 a.m. You get what I'm saying. Like, some days he's working at 1 a.m. Okay? And that's just the reality. And it depends what field you're in. And yeah, it's just typically you may have time where you're working more. Sometimes you be working less, but you still got your work done and you still put food on your table. This one, 11. This is something that was most important to me that I learned this year, especially at my current job. And it is work culture matters. I knew this because I've been in bad work cultures and I've been in good work cultures. But what gets me to work every day is literally the work culture that my manager has created. She's created such a fun, loving environment where not everyone likes you. You don't always want to be at work. Even the managers don't want to be at work. There are days you don't want to be at work. But having an environment where everyone is just so open and honest about how they're feeling that day, and you can support one another and help one another and wish every employee succeed, even if it is not being there and being at a different work environment, like being in a different work environment. Like, they genuinely just want to be there to see you succeed. And I think that's beautiful. 11. This one I have learned from an early age, but an experience at work kind of made me realize that some people don't know this. You could be the nicest person in the world, but people will treat you bad. And it doesn't reflect on you personally. So don't take it personally. Like, your character, it doesn't reflect on your character. Some people are just terrible people, and they will be terrible people to you. And unfortunately, that's just the world we live in. There's evil in this world. Therefore, evil will come into good parts of the world and your day and in general in life. And not everyone will be and is nice to you. But as long as you try to treat people with kindness, and be able to love on them, you should be able to get through it. You just have to develop very thick skin. That's what I've learned throughout my life. And I will say personal experience is really, really shining through on this one. I've been treated bad by many people in my life, unfortunately. But, if someone comes in and treats me, it's like it's nothing that I take personal anymore. Some days I do take it more personal than others. We all have our struggles, and especially if it triggers me, I will take it a little bit more personally. But once I cool off, it's nothing on me. It's a reflection of them and their character. Number 12. The last one, and then I do have a bonus. moving your body is important. And if you get into this habit, it's just an easy way to practice discipline, and that can spread into other areas of your life. And the last one, which is 13, but like this is just a bonus one. I highly recommend always be working or doing something. If you're not working, always have something that you're doing and prioritizing. That way you have something to focus on. But I would really encourage you to always be working. Um, I have a minimum wage job. I wish I started it back in January or last December, a year ago, or a month and a year ago. Because I just genuinely wish that I was able to start earlier, just because I lost out on, I don't know exactly how much I lost out on, but I definitely could have accrued less interest and started paying on my loans quicker. And yeah, I just genuinely wish I didn't wait that long to get the job, but it kind of just happened at a perfect time where I could start right before my loans were going to start demanding me to pay for them. So, but if you can, please, please, please try to get a job, even if it's just a minimum wage job. I know so many people who have more than one job right now, and I think it's just important to always have a job that you can quickly get into if you have something to go wrong in your life. Even if you have an emergency fund, even if you have savings. I'm just the type of person that, like, I am not very, I hate risk. And if I can mitigate any risk, I will. So I definitely wish that I could have done that. So if I can encourage you to do one thing or learn one thing for me, is start earlier, whatever that means for you. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video, and thanks for watching. See you in the next one.